Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a really cute little Halloween craft to share with you. This mini cake dome with a tiny little Halloween scene with trick-or-treaters in it. This could make an adorable little decorative piece on its own, but I think it would also look really cute on a Halloween themed dining table, almost like a place card. Imagine a table covered with a bunch of cute little Halloween scenes. To make this piece, I used a bunch of Lawn Fawn products from previous year's releases. The Spooky Village, the tiny little Halloween stamp set with the little kitty cat, some tree dies from the Pivot pop-up set. For my colouring today, I'm using a bunch of purple alcohol markers and my Copic skin tone set. And of course, this cute little cake dome. I got mine off eBay, and to find it, I searched for mini cake dome. Here I am stamping out my images with some black ink. I do usually stamp all of my images twice for clean, crisp lines, but for those tiny trick-or-treaters, I didn't want to risk it because their details are so little, so I just stamped them once. My colouring today is super simple because I don't have a lot of images. After colouring this little house, I did decide I needed a second house because I could fit it in the dome, and I wanted to fill up my scene a little bit more. I do chop a fair bit of my colouring out of this one because the images were so small and I noticed that my hands kind of covered most of it. Using those tree dies from the Pivot pop-up set, I cut some grey cardstock. I thought the grey went really well with the purple. To make the ground, I used some Seedless Preserves Distress Oxide ink. I wanted to keep it fairly simple. Because this little dome was so small, there was no need to go into too much detail with too many colours. I sprayed my ink with a little bit of water, and as you can see, it reacted and created that little spotty effect. I then added a layer of gold flecks with my watercolour pigments and set it aside to dry. Using a scrap piece of acetate, because I really didn't need much for this, I cut some tiny pieces, and this is how I'm going to prop up my houses and little trick-or-treaters and trees within the dome. I cut them so that they were thin enough to fit behind each image, and then I used my scoreboard so that I could get a neat fold in them. Using my tape runner, I started adhering all of these little acetate pieces to the backs of my images. It was then time to start playing around with the placement of these. And what I love about this particular tape runner is that it's not a permanent adhesive until you let it sit for a little while. So I had plenty of time to play around and move these pieces until I was happy with where they were. I particularly enjoyed placing the little trick-or-treaters. I wanted it to look like they had just finished getting their candy at one house and they were moving on to the next. Now, I don't like eating candy corn, but the little trick-or-treater dressed as candy corn is my favorite. It's so cute. Because this is a 3D item, I really do try to make sure that there is something to look at from all angles, or at least the front and back. So that's why I've included the trees for this one and why I'm not making them a huge feature around the houses. They're going to be at the back of this little dome, almost as a distraction from the backs of the house so that you don't look at the colouring from that side. And I do also add this cute little kitty cat, which my son thought was amazing when I showed him this dome. He was so excited to see the cat hiding in the trees. This little bat, I used the die from the Build a House, the Halloween add-on. I actually cut this bat from some magnet sheets that I had been using to store my dies. I have quite a few offcuts, and I really like how shiny and thick it is, and I thought adding that to the top of the dome just made it look like it was made of something much more sturdy than cardstock or paper. Using some of my favourite fox and cactus washi from my planner washi collection. I haven't been planning much this year because there's really not been much to plan for. I used that to go around the very edges of this dome just to fill it in so that you didn't see all those bulky plastic pieces that make up this dome. To further distract from the ink going through the cardstock of the backs of the houses, I added the tiniest bit of that fake spiderweb stuff that you buy around Halloween time and put it between the house and the trees so that it kind of looked like fog. And with that, my little scene was complete. I am most definitely going to be making this probably a little series and do more of these tiny domes in other holiday themes coming up. It is just so cute and was so much fun and super quick. I'll leave you with some photos of the finished product. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope that you will subscribe and stick with me as I start all of my Christmas projects. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!